Well, my review now. Remember, in the past couple of weeks, I've been really hard on Marvel and telling, a lot of their storyline arcs are missing. Besides the X-Men titles, a lot of the other Marvel titles are kind of dropping the ball. I mean, even like Spider Island was kind of getting a little too goofy for my taste. For my taste. That says a lot.
Goofy for his taste.
Now, the last 2 issues of Spider Island, though, have been really good. They've been really good. And
so, in other words,
week,
Spider Island was like this, and all of a sudden,
yeah. Well, this week was the epilogue. Spider Island wrapping up everything in Amazing Spiderman 673. I encourage people to get this title heavily, especially
or get the trade.
Get the trade, but definitely get it because this, in the end, it validates a lot of problems that Spider-Man did, and they cleaned it up.
No spoilers.
No spoilers, but there is one thing I'm going to spoil, or at least 2. Because here's the thing: this is going to the spoiler that I'm going to give is going to drive people to go get it. Okay. Now, out there in
everybody at Marvel that's about to listen to this, don't. I tried to save it. It's his problem now. Out there in comic book land, everyone knows a certain Spider-Man title that has been the bane of all comic book fans' existence. Omit, or for those people that don't know, One Moment in Time, and OMD, One More Day. Spider Island in the very end removes it from the continuum. They basically solve the problems and literally erase everything from Omit and One More Day. And Spider-Man now... You mean all that work that they put in for One More Day and one moment in time?
You call that work? You honestly call that work?
Hey, I like Joe Quesada. So.
Joe Quesada, I love you, Joe. I love Joe Quesada. Don't get me wrong.
Joe Quesada's not watching
He's not
watching this. Are you kidding me?
But I love Joe Quesada.
He's got better stuff to do.
But let's face it. You say One More Moment in Time and One More Day, all Spider-Man fans cringe. They do. They do. They flat out do.
I'm not that big of a Spider-Man fan, but I'll take your word.
But also, one of the big things also is one of the things that I'm not too pleased with, but I think a lot of fans are out there. They've basically wiped the slate clean with Spider-Man's love interest. The character of Carly, who a lot of fans do not like. I personally like Carly because there's something to be said about a love interest that is more than one-dimensional, and that's what Carly was. She had a personality, she had everything, but they've essentially removed her from the Peter Parker's love interest, and now Peter's starting fresh from scratch. The wrap-up and the epilogue is actually really well done. It advances Spider-Man, and not just Spider-Man, but Peter Parker's character. It advances it as a character very well because he can no longer be emo. He can't be emo Peter Parker anymore because everyone now understands what it means to be Spider-Man, and that was the whole point. And I think that they did that really well in Spider Island. And the good part about this is this leads up to Avenging Spider-Man #1, where we get to see Spider-Man fresh from a start. It's a new look on Spider-Man. It's going to be Peter in a new type of role as a superhero in Marvel, and it's really good. And I encourage people to actually go get 673 and 672 of Amazing Spider-Man because it's been great. There have been really good, funny moments. And it's actually a good, serious wrap-up to the whole thing. I'm not too pleased about the loss of the character of Carly because I liked her. I know out there in comic book land, a lot of people like the character of MJ, Mary Jane Watson, but and there was like a huge uproar. In other
words, there's a Team Carly and a Team MJ.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, no, there's not even a Team Carly because a lot of people didn't like the character. I personally liked it as a character because, as I said before, the point of a love interest isn't, for me, if she's one-dimensional, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, Mary Jane Watson is as one-dimensional as you can get. She is. Sorry.
All right, well,
there's nothing much to her.
Direct all hate mail towards him, David Sabal.
And I like
Facebook.com.
MJ. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I love Mary Jane Watson, but they never really advanced her character along to warrant a major point in storylines. But Carly has actually been pretty good. Like she shows emotion. You see character development in that character. So to actually see the relationship between her and Peter end, it kind of sucks. But it's also good because we get to actually, Peter gets a fresh start from here on out. So Spider-Man is completely free. So sky's the limit at this point with Spider-Man, and that's why I definitely tell people, go out, get Spider Island. It's a great wrap up. They introduce some new characters. They kill off some old characters, and they answer a few questions and resolve a few problems that Omit and One More Day left Spider-Man with. And I can't say much more than that, but definitely the team of Slott and Caselli. Caselli's art fits Spider-Man perfectly.
No, I in the past I said like a guy like Greg Capullo, his art was perfect for Batman. So
I think, like Caselli's art for Spider-Man is just awesome. I mean, it's not very flat. There's actually emotion behind that art, So you can actually tell it. I mean, even in the panels with Spider-Man, you can tell emotion even though he's wearing a mask. And Caselli really does that really well with his superheroes. And he draws females really well. I mean, like, he draws them realistic. He draws them pretty realistically. A lot of artists out there kind of go overboard with the female anatomy. Fanboys out there. But, you know,
fanboys or perverts?
Both. I'm one of them. If you go into my room, there's all sorts of superhero art dedicated to females. But there's something to be said about going overboard on the female anatomy. So, and definitely introduces some really cool characters. Introduces one interesting character that everyone rolled their eyes at when they first introduced him in this. Yeah, but I'm telling you guys right now, I like the direction they're going with the character. It's not Venom, it's not Eddie Brock, and it's not Peter Parker. I'll leave it at that. But definitely, if they continue on with the character that I'm alluding to, let's just say, hopefully they don't go with Clone Saga anymore.
All right,
don't do that.
Stop.
Yep.
No more spoilers.
No more spoilers.
We tried to make this a spoiler-free podcast. Of course, we've screwed up. Well, we've done some spoilers in the past, but we want to make it informative, but not spoil anything. So, if you're a big Spider-Man fan, is this give you hope, or really does it diminish your love for Spider-Man, or does it make it even more?
This makes me love Spider-Man more because I want to see where they're going with him now. Because if they continue where he's at, where he's been in the past, because Spider-Man hasn't changed for the past years. They've tried to change him, but it really hasn't hit. This right here is a good jump point where I think they could take the character to new places. I mean, let's face it. You see characters like Green Lantern or Flash or Batman. They get good reboots. Marvel hasn't been really good at really taking their characters to the next level, and they did it finally with the X-Men. They did it with Wolverine. I think they can really do it with Spider-Man. Not too keen on the Hulk. Confused about that. Anybody who got touched by fear itself, I look at them and go, they ruined this character. But anyways, I really think the sky's the limit for Spider-Man at this point. Go out there, add it to your pull list, add Avenging Spider-Man when it comes out. It's going to be, I think, really good. It's probably going to be one of their flagship titles for the next couple months.
And you could bet that you'll get a review of Avenging Spider-Man from him.
If it doesn't go to him. Or if it's just so good that we basically look at you and say, why are we reviewing it? It's so good, you should already have it.
Or we could be using it as toilet paper. That too.
Okay, well, that's our reviews for this week. Again, we want to thank everyone at Tucson Comic-Con, Mike Olivares and all of his staff, for inviting us here to the Tucson Comic-Con, meeting some of the vendors, seeing what it's all about, and giving us an excuse to visit Tucson.
Yeah, it's been fun going down to Tucson. Kevin, Dave, thank you guys for setting this up.
Yeah, next time, Kevin, Dave, everybody at Abnormal Entertainment, if you want to send us to another location, San Diego Comic-Con would be great. I hear
I
that
think New York would be nice.
or like see if Miami, or maybe a place like New Orleans or Las Vegas.
Is there a Comic-Con in Miami?
I'm sure there is.
Okay.
But anyway, we want to thank everybody for tuning into the podcast. This is our very first video podcast, so now you know exactly what we look like.
What?
I'm Tony Sabal.
I'm David Sabal.
And this is the Atomic Fallout Society. We'll see you later.
Hasta la vista, guys. What are you looking at?